There is a deeper truth in life that many people miss. What we leave behind is not simply what is written on a stone, nor is it what people remember for a few years. Your true legacy is the ripple of influence you create in every moment you are alive. It's not about waiting for someday to make a difference. It's about living each day as if the story of your life is being written right now, because it is. The way you speak to others, the values you uphold, the kindness you extend, the dreams you chase, the principles you stand by, all of it forms the essence of your legacy. A legacy mindset is the awareness that you are already leaving an imprint on the world, whether you realize it or not. When you embrace this mindset, your choices become more intentional. You stop living by accident and start living on purpose. You become aware that the small, seemingly insignificant acts often outlive the big, dramatic ones. The way you loved, the way you forgave, the way you inspired, these are the true monuments that stand the test of time. The question isn't whether you will leave a legacy, you will. The question is, what kind of legacy will it be? Whether you realize it or not, you are already shaping how people will remember you. Every action, word, and choice is writing your life story. This truth should awaken you to the fact that legacy is not reserved for the wealthy or famous. It belongs to everyone. Each day is a brushstroke on the canvas of your life. Living with this awareness changes your perspective. Suddenly, the way you treat the cashier at the store, the way you speak to a stranger, the way you show up for your family, Legacy is not built in one big moment. It is sculpted in the quiet consistency of how you live. When you understand this, you start acting intentionally. You stop thinking, one day I will make a difference, and realize you're making one right now. This subtle but powerful shift is the foundation of the legacy mindset. People who leave a lasting legacy are not reactive. They are anchored in principles that guide their lives regardless of external conditions. Circumstances change, values should not. If honesty, kindness, and perseverance are part of your core principles, they remain constant whether life is smooth or chaotic. When you let circumstances dictate your behavior, your life becomes unstable and your legacy becomes inconsistent. But when you live by principles, you create a reliable and predictable influence on others, something they can trust. Think about it. The people we admire most are not those who bend with the wind of convenience, but those who stand firm in storm. Living by principles plants seeds that grow into trust, respect, and admiration long after you're gone. A true legacy is measured by impact, not applause. Chasing recognition can lead you to compromise your values or take shortcuts for temporary gain. But impact comes from serving, helping, inspiring, and lifting others without expecting anything in return. The most powerful legacies often come from those who didn't seek the spotlight. Their quiet acts of generosity, their steady encouragement, and their selfless contributions live on in the lives they touched. Recognition fades, but the ripple effect of impact expands endlessly. Ask yourself daily, am I doing this to be seen, or am I doing it to make a difference? The first will feed your ego. The second will feed your legacy. Legacy thinking extends beyond your lifetime. It means making decisions today that will benefit not only you, but also your children, their children, and people you may never meet. It's about planting trees under whose shade you may never sit. This requires patience, vision, and faith. You may not see the immediate results of your actions, but the seeds you plant today can bear fruit for decades. This is why people with a legacy mindset invest in education, kindness, environmental care, and values. Because these are gifts that keep multiplying long after they are gone. When you think generationally, your life gains. Your actions are no longer just about your comfort. They're about shaping the future. People remember consistency. If you want to leave a strong legacy, be the same person in public as you are in private. Authenticity builds trust, and trust builds influence. Consistency means showing up as your true self, not wearing masks to please others. It means treating the janitor with the same respect as the CEO. When you live this way, people know they can depend on your word, your character, and your integrity. A legacy built on inconsistency crumbles because people can't trust it. But when your values are steady, your influence becomes something people can lean on, even after you're gone. Your actions will always speak louder than your advice. People are more likely to follow your example than your words. If you want to teach kindness, be kind. If you want to inspire perseverance. The legacy mindset is not about telling people what to do. It's about embodying the life you hope others will live. Children, employees, friends, and even strangers are constantly watching, and your life is their textbook. When you live as a walking example of your values, your influence naturally expands, your presence becomes a living lesson, and your legacy becomes a gift to everyone you encounter. Here's the 300-word conclusion for legacy mindset that ties all 6 points together with emotion and inspiration. The truth is, every moment you live is an opportunity to write your legacy. You don't have to wait until you're wealthy, famous, or retired to start making a difference, because your legacy is not a distant destination. It is the trail you leave behind with every choice you make today. When you understand that you are already creating a legacy, you begin to live with intention. You anchor yourself in unshakable principles, refusing to let circumstances dictate your character. You focus on impact, not recognition, knowing that the truest rewards often come quietly in the lives you've touched and hearts you've inspired. You think beyond the limits of your own lifetime, planting seeds you may never see bloom, trusting that they will grow in the hands of future generations. You become consistent in who you are, choosing authenticity over performance, integrity over convenience. And most importantly, you live as an example, understanding that your actions speak louder than any speech you could ever give. A legacy mindset transforms your life from ordinary to meaningful, from temporary to eternal. You stop living for the next paycheck, the next weekend, or the next applause, and start living for something greater, the difference you will leave in the world. One day your name will be spoken for the last time, but long after that moment, your influence can still live on, in the kindness you showed, the wisdom you shared, and the courage you displayed. So live in such a way that when your story is told, it will not just be about what you achieved, but about who you were and how you made the world better simply by being here. That is the power of a legacy mindset.